of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Our guest today started her restaurant in 2009, and now it's an iconic national brand called Souley Vegan. Please welcome to our show, Tamearra Dyson. Hi, Tamearra.
Hey, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me.
I should say Chef Tamearra.
Yes, I am executive chef and owner. That's correct.
Executive chef and owner. You know, only about 7% of all female chefs own their restaurant. So you are in a very small percentage.
Very good. I like that. I like being in the small percent.
That's right. You like being a trailblazer, right?
I really do.
So what's interesting is not just that you started a vegan restaurant back in 2009, which, you know, really makes you a trailblazer in that arena because you're probably one of the first, I imagine. And it's become an institution, and now you have 6 locations around that, you know, are takeout, but I know you're looking to franchise. But what's really interesting is your story of how you launched it and how it began. You know, we all talk about on this show every week what little funding women get. And you certainly are no exception to that. I mean, you literally, I understand, were a single mom and started this with like $26 in the bank. How did you do that?
Literally.
I think it's such an amazing story.
You know, it was just drive and, you know, faith in my product and my service and what I felt I had to offer the world, Catherine. You know, it was just, it was a true testimony to just stepping out on faith. I mean, I had a solid, you know, career in the medical field, earned great relationships, was well on my way to nursing school, until something, you know, kind of intuitively pulled me in another direction. And that was Souley Vegan.
You got the download.
I got the download and I paid attention and I followed instructions, my own instructions.
Right. And I think that's where they come from. I think they come from inside us, that, you know, universe that downloads that message that says, hey, this is your purpose. And we kind of either listen or we don't, because, you know, what I found fascinating is here you were a single mom. You had a great career ahead of you in the medical field as a nurse. You were getting ready to graduate, but you threw caution to the wind. And you said, nope, I am meant to be bringing vegan food to the world, right?
Yeah. And I even think even beyond kind of, you know, Souley Vegan, because I believe that Souley Vegan is a vehicle. Souley Vegan is great. I believe in Souley Vegan just as much as I did in, you know, on day one, and even more so now. I always knew that Souley Vegan should be an international brand. And it's not only just the food, it's about the energy that we offer. It is about the story, inspiring others, you know, to kind of take a chance on, you know, what they believe that they can do, and finding their own success on their own terms, you know, whatever that looks like to them. And so with that being said, you know, I do, you know, speak a lot. I speak at colleges, I mentor young girls, and you know, kind of the next chapter of my life, you know, which is in alignment with what we offer at Souley Vegan, is to inspire. And so that's true. I love to do that. And I'm so very grateful that Souley Vegan is kind of a segue into a higher calling, so to speak.
I love that. I love that. And so if I were to visit Souley Vegan, you're located in San Francisco, right? The brick and mortar location.
The brick and mortar is actually in Oakland. That's the dine-in.
Oh, Oakland, right outside San Francisco.
Right over the bridge, right outside San Francisco, full service. restaurant, all my family photos on the wall, and as kind of you mentioned, franchise. And as we go into that, this is the model that we want to recreate.
So right now you actually offer up food delivery in 6 areas. Is that correct?
Well, Los Angeles and Las Vegas right now, we have the ghost kitchens right now. But in terms of, kind of expanding, I think that it was never my personal goal to own several locations myself, more so give others the opportunity to, live a dream and kind of, help those franchisees, cultivate their dreams and help to cultivate the success of Souley Vegan brand. So.
These ghost kitchens that you just mentioned seem to be very popular since the pandemic popping up. Is that when it became, did you do that before the pandemic or during the pandemic? Like when did you start your ghost kitchens?
It was it was right after the pandemic, hit us. It was March of 2020 that we were told that we can no longer do dine in. We had to do all to goes. And it hit so hard. We went from spilling out of the restaurant to crickets. And, I got scared. Initially, I'm sure everyone can identify with this, but I feared so many things: the loss of my business, the loss of Souley Vegan, my baby, the loss of the future of Souley Vegan, not being able to take care of my family, my staff, not being able to take care of their family, the folks that had been with me and, hustled with me and grind with me to keep the business running. So there was so many things that I was afraid of. And prior to COVID, I was actually working on a frozen food line.
Oh, wow.
And then COVID hit and I said, oh my God, I just spent all my money and kind of going in this direction. So I feared for the future of Souley Vegan. And so I said, you know what, ghost kitchens, this is what's happening right now. Obviously the to-go, model just kind of skyrocketed, during COVID. So it was a way for me to kind of keep Souley Vegan not only alive, but how can we thrive? How can we truly kind of move above and beyond this COVID thing that threatens everything that we work so hard for?
And is that when you expanded to LA and Vegas?
Yes.
See, there's always so many silver linings from this thing, isn't it? And so, and I hope now business is booming.
Business is great. It took some learning, in terms of, money going out versus what's coming in, so on and so forth. And so for the expansion, I am looking to take on, capital, for that. The customers in those areas are screaming for brick and mortars. They do want the full experience. So the ghost kitchen is a great concept, but I think it should be coupled with a brick and mortar restaurant in those.
I love that you said that because, being in this investment world, talking to people every day, trying to, present different resources to my listeners. I've come in contact with people that do franchises, that do frozen food lines, that provide funding for growth. And so I'm going to be putting you in touch with those because I think, you're so smart at what you do. You saw how to bob and weave when life threw you a curveball with that pandemic. And
Yeah.
look what you did. Look how you bobbed and pivoted to stay alive. And now, I think more and more people are wanting to eat vegan. And I think you're in the right place at the right time. There's not a lot to select from, but more and more. And people, I think there's a real demand for that. And here, you started back in 2009. So you were really ahead of the curve. You're obviously a visionary. You're obviously living your passion. It's what you're meant to be doing. Obviously, the food is great because you've gotten great rave reviews and national attention. And I do believe in your vision that it is meant to be a global brand. Like you said, I think you could expand both in the franchise arena and in the frozen food arena. So, yeah, really cheering you on with that.
Yeah, it's so exciting. But like any goal, any dream, any vision that we all have, it's, you take the bumps and the bruises along the way, and there's hard decisions along the way. And not all of them seemingly could be, correct. You just do your best along the way, and you kind of see what the universe, brings back.
Right. But
Um,
I do think you're a person that listens to your intuition.
I
You know, a lot of people would have just folded up and said, well, the pandemic, did me in. And you said, how can we stay alive? How can we pivot? And I
Yeah,
think it's the businesses that pivoted are the ones that are still here. And that was a great pivot. Like you said, the ghost kitchens really popped up for delivery during that time. And that wasn't something that really existed that much before the pandemic. So I think it's great. I think it's great that you've already expanded to other areas. And I think your future is bright.
thank you, thank you. Well, I'm definitely working hard at it, that's for sure.
How old is your little girl now? Since I know you were a single mom when you started this, how old is she? And does she have an interest in the restaurant business?
Actually, I have a boy.
Oh, a
Um,
boy. I don't know why I assumed it was a girl.
yeah, I actually have a boy, and he's actually 27 now. He's 27.
Wow.
So I started at a farmer's market in 2006, actually, and then we opened up the brick and mortar in 2009. So, he worked with me in the beginning. Then he just kind of, he wanted to do his own thing. My dream is not his dream. It's fine. So he's just kind of figuring out what direction he wants to go in, and then we'll see, when he or if he, kind of wants to come back to the family business, so to speak. He
Right.
knows every aspect of of the company, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future.
Excellent.
And
Well,
he's an advisor right now. I'll say that he's my advisor. When I want to put something new on the menu or whatever, he tries it. We critique the texture, etc. So he still definitely contributes.
we all need the young people's input from
Oh,
marketing to products, right?
right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. So the future is you want to do a food line, you want to do franchises, continue to build up your amazing business there in Oakland, California.
That's
Uh,
right.
you had shared with me that you are a California girl, so you were born here, which is unusual, right?
Yeah, I know. You rarely see, all the folks that come through, our Oakland location, you rarely see 510 area codes on their phone. It's like, so for anyone to say, oh, they're from there, it's like, oh, wow, really? And you have dialogue. Well, what kept you here? Because everybody's just like moving and everybody's kind of, but yeah, I'm a California girl, at heart. My from Louisiana, hence the Creole, vegan cuisine that we do. So that was highly kind of influenced in my life, that cuisine or whatever. But yeah, I'm a California girl for sure.
Yeah, and I don't hear a lot about Creole vegan food. Like that's really unique.
It's very specific. I'll say that folks who are coming from the South, Mississippi, Tennessee or whatever, when they come to the restaurant, they can identify exactly where the food comes from. They says, "Oh, your family's Creole, huh?" And I says, "Yep, that's exactly right."
I love that. Yeah, I can't think of anywhere else I know of. The vegan places that I frequent. I can't think of any that are Creole. So I think that's really unique, and I love that. What are some of the most popular dishes that you guys serve?
So, kind of what's great about Souley, one of the things that's great about Souley Vegan, and one of the things that I'm super proud of is that, everything that we serve, we create. All the recipes, are my own, hence the, long-term goal of frozen food line. The vegan meats, the cheeses, etc. So people go crazy over the mac and cheese. It's kind of like a vegan Velveeta, so to speak. People go crazy over the mac and cheese, the gumbo. It's just about the flavors, and everything on the menu kind of, is received very well. The black eyed peas, the potato salad, people go crazy over the potato salad. Our southern fried tofu, people love that. And that's something I've been making since I was 18. People say, oh, it's like a chicken, it's like a fish. I'm like, it's just, it's fried tofu to me. But, people compare it to whatever they so choose. But yeah, so I'm grateful. People are just in love with the flavors and the overall experience. And it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing ride. And I'm looking forward to, new challenges and new territories in the franchise industry. I'm so ready to, mentor, to, help locations succeed. I'm very excited about the future.
I love that. And even right now, if you're in Oakland or LA or Vegas, we can order from Souley Vegan, which is Soul, Souley. Love
That's
that. Love the play on words.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought about that name for a long time and I said, wait a minute, my soul, this is from me. And I just Souley. Oh, Souley Vegan.
I love it. I love it. Even got that download. I love it. And so the reason it's Creole, even though you're a California born girl, it's your family ancestry that you have these recipes from?
Yeah, not necessarily the recipes themselves, but I did grow up watching my mother cook, create, build flavors. She'll just use salt and pepper on something and it tastes gourmet. So I watched her cook. She cooked for my grandfather a lot, who was from Louisiana. All the old school greats, the grits, the sausage, the bacon, the eggs, all those things, smothered potatoes, corn. And so I think I just grew up with an appreciation of great food, flavorful food. And, when I had my son and I started cooking myself, it had to be that standard, that quality that I seen kind of growing up. And my grandfather, who influenced me a lot as a young girl, I was a young girl. He's my grandfather. But I looked at him and I said, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. He worked very hard. His work ethic was impeccable. That filtered down to my mother. I seen her bust her butt. And so I took that on. I had a lot of respect for him, hence kind of embracing that culture, his culture. And I wish he was around today just to kind of see what I'm doing and I could maybe get some advice on some things. I don't know.
Oh, he'd be so proud. I'm sure he's looking down on you, super proud.
So.
Well, and you certainly are such an inspiration to other young women coming up who, want to own their own restaurant, want to be a chef. I think it's great. And also, I know your claim to fame was, didn't you beat out Bobby Flay?
Yeah. Just recently, I beat Bobby Flay. That was absolutely amazing. I think
was that on a show?
Yeah. So they called me. The producers called me. They scout. And they say, hey, would you be interested in participating on the Beat Bobby Flay? And I said, yeah, of course, let's do it. I'm all gun ho because I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. I was like, yeah. So first response, absolutely. Now I've never competed in my life. I've never competed. Yeah. It's not my thing, so to speak, or wasn't my thing. And so they say, okay, so you go through this extensive interview process. They give you a window of time. They say, okay, within this window of time, what works best for you? I picked the latter of the 3 weeks, of course, because I'm thinking in my head, I gotta give myself some time. I gotta practice in my kitchen, my timing. So they give me a call back. They say, hey, we really want you on the show, but we think that you'd be great for this date, which was literally, Catherine, like 3 days away.
Oh my gosh.
So I said, okay, all right, that's fine. So then I'm thinking, and my son says to me, he says, Mom, if you're thinking, because I considered not doing the show. And just to be transparent and human, I thought about what that would look like if I failed. Like I said, am I going to be a vegan? I'm a Black woman. I'm a vegan chef. All this responsibility. What if I, muck up in front of the world? And then I said, I have so much going on with the business. There was seemingly valid reasons why I could actually decline. So my son looks at me and he says, well, Mom, he says, if you have all these things going on, with the business, and it would be a detriment to the business for you to take that time and go, he said, then I understand. But if you don't want to go because you're scared, you know what? I said, when it came down to it, I was a little scared. It was Bobby Flay. I was a little scared. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it because, and it sounds like a cliche, but I always go in the direction of my fears. And that is how I discover myself. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. But I told myself, Tamearra, if you go, you're going to win. I'm not.
I love it. I love the way you think, girl.
I'm not going there to participate. I'm going there to win. And I won. And it was amazing. It was absolutely. Bobby actually took off his apron and crowned me with his apron. That was the first time that he's done that in the 30 years that the show has been on.
Wow. I love that. I love that. I do believe if you, what you say and what you think and what you believe is what happens. And you did that. You believed you were going to win. I love it.
I believed. And I said, I'm going. And I just tried to stay out of my own head because we get in our own head. And so I was just not going to talk. I'm not going to practice anything. I'm just going to go and I'm going to do whatever's in my heart. And I'm just going to do my best. And that's what I did. And I won.
I love it. Well, congratulations. That is no easy thing. And kudos to you.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up, let me know, how could people get a hold of you?
Yeah. So, my email is tamearra@souleyvegan.com. I'm pretty diligent nowadays at checking my email. That's my personal email.
Right.
And then they can also go to, the website to see, our locations. That also has my contact information on that as well.
Is that souleyvegan.com or what is that?
Yeah, that's souleyvegan.com. Instagram is @souleyvegan. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Tamearra Dyson. So
great. How about LinkedIn? Are you on there?
I am on LinkedIn. Right. Tamearra Dyson. Yes.
Tamearra Dyson at Souley Vegan. Please connect with her, check her out, and also be a customer to their restaurants. If you are currently in Oakland or San Francisco, Los Angeles, Vegas, or reach out and contact her if you're interested in a franchise or getting behind this amazing franchise. Also, you can reach, of course, us, Catherine Gray, at Invest in Her on Instagram, or She Angel Investors on all. And of course, I'm on LinkedIn with Tamearra. So you can find us. You can find us both everywhere. And we thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to invest in her. And thank you so much for being a wonderful guest, Tamearra. Good luck with all you're doing.
Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Remember, if you're looking to launch a business or grow your business, check out our e-course, 6 Ways to Fund Your Business, available at SheAngelInvestors.com.